Hey everyone, thanks for joining today. Well, I have a different co host today that's going to be with us as we talk a little bit more about stuck shed and a quick and easy way to take care of it. So stick around. I'm Jack, and you're watching Python Addiction. Hey everyone, thanks for joining today. So, today we are going to be talking a little bit about stuck shed and some of the causes. The main cause for stuck shed is generally not enough moisture or humidity. But sometimes that's stuff that's out of your control because it just happens. This baby boy's enclosure is perfectly set up. I checked the humidity levels because I have a hydrometer from Govee that I can put into the enclosures to check the humidity levels, and it was at around 75 to 80%, which is absolutely perfect. And he has actual water dish in there that if he needed to, he could get into. But on occasion, stuck shed is just something that happens. But it is something that we want to address to make sure that layers don't build up and that it doesn't cause other issues. So this is going to be one of the times that I'm going to suggest a soak in order to be able to help address that stuck shed. And it's one of those few times that it's okay because you're only doing it for a limited amount of time and it's not going to hurt the snake. I'm not one that tells people or suggests to people that they soak their snakes regularly, as it's not something that you really need to do. It can add additional stresses to their life that aren't necessary because in most circumstances they'll be able to shed without that additional assistance. But occasionally they need the assistance. So we're going to go right over to the overhead, and I'm going to show you, I have a little setup right here of just a Sterilite tub, and I have some water, and most importantly I have one of my thermostats to check the water's temperature. The biggest thing when you're doing any type of a soak is you want to make sure that the water is at an appropriate temperature for the snake, that it's not going to hurt them, but that it's not too cold either. And you're going to want to keep it at that temperature for the duration of them being in the water. The way that I do this is right here I've just got just a thing of water. It should be more than enough to achieve what we're doing here today. But I am going to, and I'll move this up on the camera so you guys can see, hit it with my little thermostat, and it's reading at 91.8 degrees, 90 degrees. It's going down, and that's perfectly fine. You want water that's in between 88 and 90 degrees. You don't want water that's any hotter than that. If you're touching the water, you can use tap water and run it. If it feels warm to you, it's probably too hot. And that's why I recommend using or having one of these thermometers handy, is to make sure that you're getting a accurate read on the temperature so you're not doing harm to your snake when you're putting them in there. You don't want to use cold water, and you want to make sure that it's warm enough to make sure that they're not getting hurt. So I'm going to pour this water into this bin that's already been sterilized, and I'm only going to pour enough. Notice I didn't use it all. I'm only going to pour enough to make sure that it goes halfway up this baby's body. So when I put him in this water now, I don't want that water to go much more than halfway up his body. And that's because they don't need to actually be swimming in it. And I actually will be able to. He's big enough to where I can do the full amount in here. And it's just barely halfway up his body right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to literally put the lid onto this, and then he's going to soak or just sit in there for about 30 minutes. And what I will do after I'm actually done recording this video, I'm going to show you, I'm going to put this bin on my mat that's in my quarantine / medical area. And here's the video right here to show you that. That mat is already set for 88 degrees to keep that mat at a consistent temperature. Putting this bin on that mat will allow that mat to keep the water at approximately 88 degrees. It's not going to be perfect. It might keep it at 87 degrees or 86 degrees with how it transfers through. But that's still going to be good enough. It's going to keep the temperature of the water approximately where you need it for how long you're soaking the snake. 30 minutes is all you should need, and you may need to repeat this once, like every other day. You don't want to do it every single day. That's not normally necessary. But after about 30 minutes of him sitting in this, the humidity will automatically build up within the Sterilite tub. And if we switch back to the overhead, you can see how this is already starting to fog up inside of there as the humidity starts to build up in the enclosure that we're using. Once that's done, you take them out, you put them back into the normal enclosure. If you have any of the shed that you might be able to very easily and gently pull off at that point, you can. Otherwise, leave it. Your snake will finish shedding that extra skin once it becomes loose enough and soft enough for them to shed it. But if you can just very easily pull it back, that's fine as well. If you get any resistance in it, stop. Don't keep pulling at it, because you could pull some of the new scales underneath in the process. Just leave it be, and then wait for it, because it might take a little bit longer for the moisture that got onto the skin to finish softening that area up. Put them in their enclosure and repeat as necessary until the stuck shed is off completely. If you're watching it and keeping an eye on them, you can actually leave them in there for 45 minutes to an hour if it's a really bad case of stuck shed. But generally speaking, you don't need to leave them in there for more than around an hour at max. It's not going to hurt them if you do leave them in there a little bit longer, but it's not something that's necessary. The biggest thing is to make sure that you have a heat source to be able to keep that water at the appropriate temperature. And that helps to promote their body to be healing and to be at the ideal temperature for their health, because around 88 degrees internal body temperature for the snake is when their immune system and all of their stuff is working at its best. And when they cool down a little bit, all of that slows down, and obviously if it warms up too much, it's bad for their health. So that's what I wanted to share today, was answering questions that some of you as my viewers have asked, reaching out to me through Facebook, and there's been a couple of different comments that I've seen on a couple of the different videos. A few of you have emailed me a couple of questions. They're always welcome. I'm absolutely happy to answer these types of questions. Even if you're not somebody that has purchased an animal from me, feel free to reach out to me. If you want, leave comments in the comment sections below for each of the videos, and I try my best to answer and respond to each and every one of those comments, as I like that interaction. So don't hesitate to ask a question if you have one. If you liked today's video, please do hit that thumbs up button, as that lets me know and everyone else know that you enjoy this type of content. And if you've made it this far into the video and you haven't done so already, please do take a moment to subscribe. And while you're down there, click that notification icon, as that will let you know that new videos have been pushed out. I tend to do a new video at least once a week. So until next time, I love you all. Thanks for watching. I'm Jack, and this is Python Addiction.